the agency. I'm Sarah Wells. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
And I'm Austin. I'm from Santa Rosa, California.
I'm Maggie Moscow, and I'm from Cleveland, Mississippi.
I'm Anna Kelly, and I'm from Thomasville, Georgia. I'm Hadley Masters, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
And kind of like we're saying, super excited to be here. We're excited to show you guys kind of our campaign materials, kind of the strategy behind this marketing approach that we have for you guys. Going to be walking you guys through this step by step, so I don't want to give too much of it away. It's all going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's going to unfold bits by bits, kind of like a present. So we're excited to be showing you guys everything for sure. Overall, just some kind of things to keep in the back of your mind while we're going through this. I think we took maybe just a slightly less traditional approach than maybe some of the other groups have been done. I think a lot of our teammates are going to talk about talking to a younger audience per se. I think that's a component of it for sure. We're going to speak to that a little bit, but that's not the main focus overall. But again, excited to be talking to you guys about this. We're going to unwrap it bit by bit. Just kind of a cohesive brand campaign to invest in your guys' brands in the Tupelo, North Mississippi market for years to come. So we'll be walking through that for sure.
So after visiting Traceway and meeting with the residents, we noticed that Traceway, one of the biggest strengths is that it has over 50 years of experience with senior care. And we love the greenhouse project, and we love how that it allows the residents to be more family oriented. And then we realized that the staff at Traceway go over the top with their commitment with the residents, and they do that out of love, which is very special. And for weaknesses, we just noticed that the campus is a little outdated, and the biggest weakness is the extensive wait list, which for our opportunity, we want to target a younger audience to become aware of this at an earlier stage. And then for our threats, we just realized that every organization will have competition in the future, and that's the main thing we need to worry about.
We use Facebook ads to engage viewers by providing information that we gathered through surveys, research, and interviews that we conducted with the residents. And all in all, that just came together as we showed the survey through. I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good. Yeah, so the surveys, they're all included in your campaign book in the back. It was really interesting to kind of break down people's thoughts on senior care in North Mississippi and just as a whole. So all those documents are included in the campaign book, and we will talk about them throughout this presentation. But all these campaign materials, they break down based off of what we found from those surveys. And as well, we visited Traceway campus and we did a focus group with some of your residents and got some really interesting information from them as well, some good firsthand perspective. So it was really cool to watch how that research melded into what we're going to show you guys today. Okay, so target audience, this is something I think is so vital to our campaign. These two audiences I'm going to be talking about really define the creative aspects of the campaign and our media plan, our media strategy, the keystone to why we are going to show you guys what we are showing you today. Again, I talked a little bit about maybe some younger audiences. I'll expand on that in a little bit. Overall, though, we're talking about expanding y'all's brand in the North Mississippi market. That's kind of the big thing in the back of our heads. That's what this is all about, is investing in your brand for the long term, making Traceway campus an institution of Tupelo for many, many years to come. So let's just go to that first target audience real quick. So we call this midlife light. So again, 30 to 40-year-old age bracket. They live in North Mississippi. Again, if you look at those research documents that we have in that campaign book, it will show that people in this age range, they don't really think about senior care all that much. So it's incredibly vital not to try to change that. You're never going to change a consumer's thought cycle. It's darn near impossible in many cases, unless you have multi-million-dollar budgets, which if you do, I'd like a piece of that, please. But we do not have that in this room right now, which is totally fine. So we're not trying to change these people's thought cycle to get them thinking about senior care more often. We are trying to get into that kind of 30-year-old, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older, into the 40-year-old range, and establish that Traceway name far before they're even thinking about these things, right? So let's go to that next one, and I'll expand on this a little bit too. So we call this the North Mississippi All-Stars. So Traceway, proud institution of Tupelo, right? North Mississippi market, you guys have a really good corner on that. And when I think about Tupelo, when I think about North Mississippi, I think about people having a core set of brands or businesses or institutions that they partner with on a weekly or daily basis, right? So Tupelo, Reed's department store, I know everybody there, that's something that's a kind of part of that culture. So people shop there, they get their clothes and other goods there. That's become a part of what Tupelo is. I work in Tupelo. I love Connie's and their blueberry biscuits. I know people there go there on Sunday mornings. Their blueberry donuts. They go there for those donuts every Sunday morning and they get a biscuit. That's kind of just like a routine for them, right? So that Connie's restaurant, just kind of the same way that I think some groups will come here and they'll talk about names like Nike or Apple or something like that. I don't think that's a good comparison to make. But I think these names are a much better comparison to make, right? That we can make that, be that kind of brand and have that kind of headspace in a consumer's mind for years to come. So that's kind of what this is all about, and these are the two audiences that we're focusing on.
Okay, with that, so our main idea in our campaign concept is to make Traceway Tupelo synonymous with senior care. We want everyone to know Traceway is senior care. All of our ads tie in with the big idea of Traceway, and we just want to make it synonymous and that it be known that Traceway is the premier senior care in North Mississippi.
So with that being said, we're super excited to show you our visuals. As we go through these ads, you'll notice that they all have a very cohesive look to them. They all feature a very green border, which I like to call Traceway green, with a white box for the text. It's opaque and it goes over a full spread image. And then we only put simple copy on there that just features a straight forward words, Traceway is, and it all goes into our big idea, Traceway is senior care, and that is our tagline that we really want to enforce today. And so let's talk about the word is. Is very, very overlooked all the time. It's an underestimated word, but it's actually very powerful. It makes two things equal, two equal meaning words the same. And so that's what we're doing. Traceway is senior care, just like saying senior care is Traceway. And so with that being said, we didn't want a lot of copy. We just had the logo and then a straightforward call to action to the website. Okay, and so we also went in and divided all three of our ads into three categories based on your three principles: celebration, innovation, and hope. And we know how special those principles are to Traceway, and we know how important they are to the brand. And so we really wanted to focus in on those three principles. So this one goes along with celebration. Celebration, all these ads are very warm, fuzzy, lighthearted, joyous, and happy, and they trigger those kind of emotions when you see them. So we'll go on and show you. This one would be a billboard ad. And then we go on to the next one for celebration, someone to laugh with, and it is a social media ad for Facebook. And I'm going to let Sarah tell you just a little bit about how she created these Facebook ads.
We used Maggie's visuals to create a Facebook post. We chose Facebook because that's the social media platform that our target audience uses. As a caption, we just chose something short, simple, and to the point. We used the tagline that we used in all of our ads, Traceway is senior care. And we used a call to action to bring people to come visit the website.
So we go, this is another celebration ad, Contagious Smile, and it could be a newspaper ad. So this is what it would look like as a newspaper ad. And then we go into innovation. Innovation highlights the more material aspects, the amenities, the services that you offer, things that people think technically about when they're thinking about moving to a new place. And so this is an example of that. This is daily activities, and it can be a magazine ad. And then we go on to on-site dining, and it's another social media ad. And then we have transportation services, and it's a billboard ad. And now we have hope. So whenever you're moving to a new place and meeting new people and getting out of your comfort zone, you obviously have this fear and this unsure and uneasiness. And so the hope ads are designed to kind of diminish that, just really show you the support and the community that Traceway has, and just kind of make people feel better about moving to a new place. So this one is home and community, and it is a half-page magazine ad. And then we go on to a full-page magazine ad, strength, support, and friendship, and that's what it looks like. Is that this one's one of my favorite ones. I really like the hands holding and interlocking each other. It makes me think about the Holleran report that we went through when we were doing our research. And it showed that Traceway is 92nd percentile in connection, and so this kind of really highlights that, I think. And you know, all these ads are kind of a template for more ads to come. All you need to do is replace the image and the context, and so it could even go into being a more technical thing where it says Traceway is 92nd percentile in connection, if you wanted to go that route. So those are our visuals.
So we believe the other most effective way to reach our target audience is through radio advertising. And this is because it's affordable and our target audience is most likely to listen to the radio rather than listen to their music through Spotify or Pandora or SoundCloud or iHeartRadio or any applications like that. And also found in our campaign book, we wrote a 30-second and a 60-second script for radio ads, and our 60-second one includes testimonies from our interviews with the residents.
Okay, so our third leap, our big strategy is an event, a special event. So we are proposing something really special called the Traceway Tupelo Time Capsule. And our tagline is sharing our community with the future. And so this kind of goes along with our main idea of our campaign, showing how Traceway has been established in Tupelo for a long time, and it's planning on being there for years to come. So this is kind of looking ahead to the future. And we don't think that Tupelo has a time capsule, so that's why we came up with this as well. And it's a great opportunity to get the entire community involved and onto Traceway's campus. And so we created this logo, and basically the event will be a time capsule where it will be buried on the Traceway campus, and everybody in the community is invited to bring something to go in it. It's a really great way to get kids involved, all age groups, and anyone and everybody's invited. And so we'll go on to show how we'll market that. They're going to pass out a flyer and a media advisory just so you can get a better feel for it in your hand. But we created a flyer that could be published all around Tupelo, as well as a media advisory, which is great earned media to send for free to newspapers and event calendars throughout Tupelo. Another one is we looked on the Tupelo Chamber of Commerce. They have an event calendar. They really should be involved and contacted. You should be on that. And we also went on to create a t-shirt mock-up. Just these could be sold during the event, and if you wanted to sell them, make a little extra money. I think that there should be concessions, maybe a little music, make it a full afternoon event. We also suggest, as you can see on the handouts, that it should be done on maybe a Sunday afternoon where everybody is involved and can come. It doesn't interfere with church and work. So we really, really are excited about this, and we hope that it could be something y'all could get excited about too. So, time capsule.
Yeah, so that event is so vital to this campaign overall. We talk about in this campaign, I think just in any campaign in general, we should have a step, a stretch, and a leap, right? So step is something we're all comfortable with, stretch is something that is maybe just a little new to us, and then the leap is something that we're really going for it. So the event is our leap, and we think it's so vital to, again, establishing the Traceway brand for everybody in the Tupelo community to come, first of all, see the campus, but just recognize that this is an institution of North Mississippi. So excited about that. Media plan, this is something that we're all marketing students, so when we talk about numbers, we talk about budget or how we're going to place these things. That doesn't come natural to us, but it's such a vital part of our strategy. So we spent a lot of time looking into how we really want to promote this messaging, and we think these 4 routes are the best way to go. So print ads, obviously we spent a good amount of time going over that, right? So Daily Journal, I think, is a fantastic outlet for that. So based in Tupelo, it's a North Mississippi publication. Continue to establish that brand messaging throughout your footprint. Again, they run a number of magazines as well, so by placing an annual buy with them, you can do column per inch ads across all their publications and get a good nice widespread of that, essentially. So print ads, so vital. Radio spots, we think the primary carrier of this should be Super Talk. Again, established statewide as a name. They broadcast Mississippi sports. Nothing says Mississippi better than some Ole Miss football or some Mississippi State football. So again, having that association with what makes Mississippi so unique and then associating with Traceway is a big deal for us. Billboards. So again, I work in Tupelo. I can't think of any more iconic ad space in Tupelo than that gigantic digital billboard at the corner of Gloucester and Main Street. I drive by it every single day to go to lunch because I don't change where I go to lunch ever. And I see it every single time, and I love seeing all the ads go by it. We did price out a buy for that particular ad space. It is a little pricey, so again, flexibility on that end. We think having a buy at that particular spot is a really important part of this full campaign. And then, of course, social media advertising, digital advertising. This is one of those things, as much as you put into it, as much as you're going to get out. So you can set pretty strict parameters on who you want to see the ad and what do you want it to say and kind of break down the specifics of it. And again, all those kind of details are included in the campaign book for further review. Budget, this is in the campaign book. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Feel free to look it over. and kind of break it apart as you see fit. But these buys kind of represent how vital we think each portion is to this campaign overall.
Okay, and like Austin said, we have a step, a stretch, and a leap. So for our step, we were thinking, radio ads, print ads, just kind of stay comfortable. And then our stretch, do the Facebook ads, do the billboards, and then our leap, we love to do the event, and we just are so excited about it, and we want y'all to be excited about it. And basically, our goal is to make Traceway a household name in the senior community, and we just want everyone to know that Traceway is the premier place for senior care in the city.
Any questions? Yeah.
Make sure I didn't understood clearly. So your target market is 30-year-olds.
Yeah, I would say 30-year-olds for sure. 30 to 40 is one particular target market, but specifically when we go into that North Mississippi All-Stars bracket, I describe it as age agnostic, essentially. So we could reach any way down to the children in the community up into people who might be considering senior care soon for themselves. So we do have that, 30 to 40-year-old was what you guys said was kind of your target audience for people thinking about their parents going into it. So there is that focus, but overall we want to make it age agnostic as well.
It's just kind of like when you think we go ahead and establish Traceway in their head, so whenever the time comes and something happens, all of those usually can be urgent decisions, and they don't have to go through all this. They already know it's in their head. We're going to Traceway. That's kind of what we are going for our younger audience.
Okay, touch again on your market research. How you got market opinions?
Yeah, absolutely. So we established a survey that kind of broke down, first of all, the couple, and those are in the back of your campaign book in the appendices area. So all those questions are included in there, but we wanted to, first of all, kind of establish an age range for people. That was our first qualifying entering area. We asked them if they're male or female, and then we asked them what's important to them in senior care. What are some aspects that you feel like are completely necessary, or maybe some areas like, I don't know. When I'm thinking about that for myself or a loved one, I don't think that's so important. We also asked them how often you think about senior care for yourself and how often you think about senior care for a loved one. So a lot of those areas, the daily activities, the transportation services, those were some services that people mark on those surveys as absolutely necessary for a senior care environment for themselves or a loved one. So we wanted to show those areas because from our research, that's kind of what people are wanting, what they see as necessary. So that was some market research. We also kind of tied in some kind of more, I'm going to call it touchy-feely or more emotional cues from the focus group
that we had with, and
The
from
residents
our focus group, we just learned that everyone there is so happy to be there, and they felt like they were in such a strong community, and that's what we wanted to do with our campaign
And
as
the
well.
staff, they love the staff there.
So that's kind of where that all breaks
That
down.
was a big
Where did you do your focus group in the apartments or where?
in the
Yes.
And then
We did it in the main hall,
In the-
where we
yes.
first met.
Yeah, okay. And then
In the
how many
dining area.
responses did you have to the surveys?
What was that again?
How many responses to the survey?
I want to say it was around 200 or so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
about 200
We
responses.
ran them through Facebook.
Mhm.
And we put it out to our parents, so had a wide variety of people.
We had a lot of people share it.
And that was the importance of having those qualifying questions, because while it may be hard to get it out to a specific audience, you can break down who we're talking to through those qualifying questions and see how those individuals are responding. So,
But you feel pretty strongly about this young demographic to target, right? This is different.
I feel strongly about investing in the brand of Traceway. I feel strongly that that is an age-agnostic effort that can last for years to come. So 30 to 40-year-olds, sure, I think that hits that as well, but I'm more invested in trying to get this Traceway campus and that Traceway brand established.
Yeah, I feel like our overall idea is preparing for the future.
Yeah, and because of the wait list, we want them to be able to start thinking about it ahead of time and know exactly what Traceway is.
Exactly. So marketing to people who would be right now needing Traceway, you have a wait list, so that's kind of what we're looking for the future, just kind of preparing, getting people ready for it.
And I think that's where the event comes in as well. If your grandkids are coming, they'll be there when they could possibly be living there when time
Yeah,
comes.
we met a woman, a resident actually, and she's there right now with her mom and her aunt. They're all there,
Yeah.
and she was awesome.
Then what Hadley was saying, a really cool aspect about the time capsule is, you might come as a 10-year-old to this event, and then when it's resurrected in
20, 50 years, whatever y'all decide, they might be a resident of Traceway and being part of it that way. I mean, it's just kind of investing in this long term.
So I'm gonna blow Austin's cover. Austin, tell them what you do for,
Yeah. So I'm a relationship manager or account executive with Mavis Agency in Tupelo. So I work part-time, although it's a full-time job, don't let anybody fool you, with Mavis Agency. So I had the really unique perspective of working in marketing in your guys' target market. So
we're able to call on Austin for his experiences in the class, so picked on you a little bit.
yeah, so we work with a lot of clients, Renaissance Bank being the biggest one. So very familiar with what you guys are working with.
Thank you very much. Campaign books?
Yeah, exactly.